Habit number one is time management. Now, we need to be starting off each day with a plan. We need to be allocating time to work. And just because you're self-employed doesn't mean you don't punch a clock. But I also want to be mindful of those of you who are doing this business on the side. Many of you are working a full-time job. You're coming home in the evenings, and some of you are having to, cook dinner and take care of kids and do homework, and then you're working this business after all of that. But that means time management is even more important for you. It's an even greater priority than it would be otherwise. Now, some of you are retired. You have all day, every day to be working on this business. But that could be part of your challenge because you have so much time, we don't have any really dedicated, focused time. And that's why we need to start each day out with a plan. So Gary and I teach things in our presentations for our clients about what we call big rock calendaring. And big rock calendaring is taking the biggest tasks and putting them in the biggest sections of time throughout your calendar. And we're going to talk a little bit about marketing later on here today, and that being one of your big rocks. So if you get home and it's after 8 o'clock, it's obviously too late to be calling people. That's when we're going to be placing our Craigslist ads, we're going to be running our Facebook ads, we're going to be shooting our YouTube videos, and we're going to be getting that stuff out so that those ads, those marketing, those direct mail pieces, they can be out there working for you while you're maybe still working that full-time job. But the rule of 54 needs to be done every single day. Now, I think I have a slide where we break down the rule of 54, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it here. But rule of 54, you guys, making sure we're mailing and we're marketing and we're communicating and we are sending out LOIs. That is the number one thing that helped our first all-star, Alvin Sun, achieve the record levels of success that he's been experiencing. Gary, I know that you have been mentoring Alvin for several years. So talk to us about what Alvin's doing differently than everybody else and how they can mimic his success.
Well, I love Alvin's got a finance background, and he just understand that he needed an income stream, more income streams. One thing I love about what you teach at the Lean Arnold system is, when I first got involved, a financial advisor said, you need to diversify your portfolio. But when I came and met you in 2005, being at the funding tour, you weren't really geared towards diversifying your portfolio. You were more geared about diversifying your income streams. And Alvin was kind of drawn to that as he had his income stream from his main job, his career. He was a full-time investor, and understanding the power of having money, his unique selling proposition, the money. And he got that from you because your unique selling proposition is Kogo Nation, Kogo Capital, right? So everything you marketed was money, money, money because money's attracted to good deals. And he ran with it. And what I love about Alvin is that he just took the advantage of getting certified. He went to the master broker and he got mentored to really make this a niche business. And he went out there and just tore it up. In fact, he became broker of the year of 2019. Why? Because he brokered as many loans as I've heard. So he did several with Kogo Capital and several outside of Kogo that didn't fit the box. So what I loved about it is that he really took it ownership, and he took it by the reins, and he went out there and made a lot of money. Lee, he made almost $70,000 in just commissions alone just by brokering private money his first year out there. Why? Well, if you ask Alvin, it's kind of what we have the master broker training going on right now, and I left that class today before I came down here, it's all about time management. So the one thing that Alvin was very good about running his successful business before getting involved with the brokering was he understood calendaring. He understood about taking time management and really focus on his day. A lot of people struggle now is because they kind of shoot from the hip. You know what, I'm going to try it here, I'm going to try it there, but they really don't dial it in. Schedule it. When am I going to work on new leads? When am I going to market? When am I going to follow up on my leads? When am I going to work on my files? When am I going to work on real estate? When am I going to work on my JOB? When am I going to go on date night with my wife, right? And one thing I think, his success is kind of, this is something you teach, is time management. You've already planned out your vacations for the year. It's already on your calendar, right? You've got an assistant that keeps you on track. Alvin was able to do the same thing. And one thing I love about Alvin is you brought up that market research is Alvin lived in the Bay Area. He started out in the Bay Area. As you just mentioned, people are flocking away from the Bay Area. It's kind of funny that Alvin is now a neighbor. Alvin used to live in the Bay Area. He now lives in Post Falls, Idaho, not too far from our corporate office. So he got away from the Bay Area. Why? Because he understands the power in listening to a mentor like Lee Arnold. So I love it. And he's literally one of those people that really took advantage of what you teach, and he implemented it. So Broker of the Year 2019. I'm excited to see who's going to be 2021, and I got a name in mind which we'll introduce here shortly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
One thing I want to highlight here about Alvin, you guys, he did $70,000 in ancillary income while still working a full-time job. So I don't even know what he's done this year because I know he went full-time into the business. Right. But 70 grand on the side while still working a full-time job, that's pretty impressive. Now here are some of Alvin's deals. Any of these jump out at you as being interesting or unique?
Well, they're all great because what I love about it is they're not local, right? They're not in California. They're across the nation. Several borrowers wanting to borrow money, as you can see, different style of houses. But what I want to point out is different loan sizes, right? You got 119, 222, 69,000, 53, 275, 79. These individuals across the nation needed to borrow money. As you notice, they're all different style houses, right? But the cool part about the nation, what's going on with our market right now, I mean, it's an abundance of deals across the nation. So it's not just one certain area, as you mentioned. I know you mentioned Memphis and Nashville. Mm-hmm. Inventory's low, prices are going up. But, I mean, this is happening across the nation. Mm-hmm. And the phones are ringing, and that's what the cool part is. So understanding how to get the phone to ring and how to manage and cultivate that lead, turn it into, take the prospect to a lead, and just work it through the process and steps. And that's something that Alvin was able to take advantage of. But how? Well, he did it through time management. Because working a full-time job, which a lot of you right now already have, working with family, you've got kids, when are you going to find time to work brokering business, right? Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible.
Well, and I think that one of the advantages that brokering gives you over even flipping real estate is all you're doing as a broker is you are collecting information and sending information. You're not actually buying anything. You're not putting out offers to purchase property. You're simply finding investors that are already doing that, and you are aligning yourself with them to become their capital provider. And the thing I love about private money brokering over conventional, FHA, VA, Fannie Mae type of loan brokering is the average consumer purchases a house every 7 years and refinances every 3.5. So one client might get you 2 loans every 7 years. In the private money business, one client could get you 7 loans in the next 30 days. And that's pretty exciting.
Right.
So you don't need like this long book of business to make pretty sizable cash in this thing. You simply need a handful of investors that are doing some volume and help them get access to the funding that they need. Last thing I want to highlight on this before we go into habit number 2 is what you said, Gary, because it's so important. Where as a real estate investor, I'm pretty adamant that you guys stay in that 25 to 50 mile radius that we've been talking about. As a private money broker, you literally can be nationwide. You can be marketing in cities and states thousands of miles from where you live. Now, I will tell you this, if I'm a broker, I'm going to be focusing the greater majority of my marketing efforts in the Southeast corridor.
Right.
I'm going to be in Florida, I'm going to be in Mississippi, I'm going to be in Louisiana, I'm going to be in the Virginias, the Carolinas, I'm going to be in Georgia. Why? Because a lot of these states that are experiencing population decline, they're all going to the Southeast. We have 10,000 people a day in this country turning 65 years of age or older.
Right.
And I can tell you this, I'm not 65 years old, but as I get older, I like cold less and less. Yeah. And I anticipate I'll be moving south at some point myself. But That's where, to me, you have the greatest opportunity and upside. I'll even tell you that as an investor, I am acquiring properties in Florida because as many people are fleeing these democratic, high-taxed locations, they're flocking to Florida, which has no income tax.
Yeah.
So some real advantages there, and as brokers, we can be emphasizing our business in those locations to maximize our upside opportunity. I would encourage you guys to be doing the same thing.